In the early hours of Christmas morning 1945, the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, went up in flames. Inside were George and Jenny Sodder, along with 9 of their 10 children. By the time the fire burned out, only 4 children had made it out alive. The other 5 were gone. No screams, no remains, no trace of what happened to them. The fire department said the blaze burned so hot it completely destroyed their bodies, but the house itself hadn't even burned all the way down. Investigators found no bones, no teeth, and no solid explanation for what had caused the fire in the first place. Over the years, strange details started to surface. A ladder that vanished from the property, a phone line cut in the middle of the night, and witnesses who swore they'd seen the missing children alive long after the fire. This week, we're looking into the Sodder Children. I'm Logan.
I'm Ben.
This is Tinfoil Talk.
Alright, so I meant to do this in a previous episode we recorded, time ago, and I didn't do it because I completely forgot. However, I've got a fun little game that I would like to bestow upon you.
Okay.
I've recently become exposed to this game via social media. It is called Blind Ranking.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the name of an artist or a band or whatever from any decade, any genre, anything like that. I'm going to give you 6.
Okay.
You're going to rank it 1 to 6 without knowing who the next person I'm going to say is.
All right.
Kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. So 1 to 6, where do you put Michael Jackson? Yeah. Keep in mind, I could say any artist, any band, any genre, any decade, you name it.
So,
anybody ever that has made...
Are we talking about body of work or performance?
Your personal opinion. You judge that however you want. If you want to judge it off his body of work, off of his... anything, his dance moves, his voice, his legacy on music.
I'll put him at 3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, number 2, I'm going to go Post Malone.
Oh, 6.
What?
I like Post Malone. I like Post Malone.
Dude, you have no idea who I'm going to say.
I know. I like Post Malone.
Okay. All right.
Post Malone, if you're listening, which he's a close friend of the show, so I know he is. It's just business.
He'll understand.
Yeah, he'll
understand. Okay. The third one, so you've got, 3 and 6 so far?
Yep.
Okay. Number 3, I'm going to go Johnny Cash. The highwayman himself. The man in black.
Damn.
You've got 1, 2, 4, and 5 open.
I fucked up putting MJ at 3.
That's a rough spot to put the king. I'll be honest.
Probably where I would put Johnny Cash. Now I got to choose. Do I put him at 2 or do I put him at 4?
You got to put somebody at the big 1 spot, bud.
Johnny Cash at 4.
At 4? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got MJ at 3.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Johnny Cash at 4. You've got Post Malone at 6. Okay. Next one. I'm going to throw out Beyonce.
Beyonce? Fuck, she put her at 6. I don't like Beyonce. Put her at 5.
So you've got Beyonce above Post Malone?
Not by design. It was forced to.
Look, you should have thought more into this.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. I was put on the spot.
Okay. Next, I'm going to go with Taylor Swift.
Oh, my God. 7.
There's no 7.
Fuck.
What you have open right now is 1, 2, and 4.
I'll put her at 4.
Or no, is it 5?
It's 5 because I put Cash at 4.
Yeah. And you put...
No, it's 1 or 2.
No, it's 1 and 2.
Fuck.
You got 1 and 2 open for Taylor Swift.
Fuck, 2, I guess.
Taylor Swift at the big 2 spot?
I'm fumbling this.
And I've saved
This is terrible.
I've saved your best for last.
Okay.
The 6th and final one, you only have the 1 spot open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw out esteemed band, Metallica.
Oh, yeah. Works out.
Metallica 1?
Yeah.
You like your order then?
Huh?
You like your order then?
I don't. I hate my order.
If you had to reorder it, how would you reorder it?
MJ at 1, Metallica at 2.
Okay.
Probably Cash at 3. Post at 4, Beyonce at 5, Swift at 6.
Okay. I agree with that every step of the way, except I would put Johnny Cash at 2, Metallica at 3. That would be my order.
You're not a big Metallica guy.
I'm not. I don't hate them. I don't love their music. The genre is where I get hung up. I don't love the genre.
Thrash metal or metal in general.
Yeah, just any kind of heavy, it just doesn't resonate with me.
Big metal guy. I like metal.
I'm a softer music fan.
Yeah.
Anyway, thought that was a fun little exercise for you.
Yep.
What you got for me?
Welcome to another vaulted episode. I don't know when you're going to hear this one.
It could be next week. It could be next year.
Could be.
You
may not hear it. Who knows?
May not. We've already had to dip into the vault once for no other reason of my own. Yeah. My bad.
Always your fault.
I'm sorry.
Always.
Not always. Not everything's my fault.
Everything is.
There's no way that, like, Hitler was my fault.
I have evidence that proves you've donated to the Taliban.
I don't think you have evidence of that at all. Because I've never donated to anybody. Ever.
Anyways, beer.
You want to test out this
beer? Talk about some beer.
So I'm going to, before I reveal it to you, I have never had this beer. I have heard of this beer. I see the commercials for this beer all the time.
Okay.
As I sit here and look at the bottle, I think this looks fancy.
Okay. Do I need the bottle opener?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's out just in case.
And I'll let you know why, or you'll see why here in just a moment. I'm going to expose it to you now.
Stella. I almost grabbed Stella. Holy shit.
No way.
Yes.
So we almost, for those of you that, and I said this in the episode we just recorded, we record 2 episodes every gathering because we're not able to gather as often as we'd like to record these. So we do 2 full episodes every night that we gather. I almost grabbed the beer that he got. He almost grabbed the beer that I got.
Literally, I went back and forth between Kona and Stella.
I did too.
I was like, surely he's at Stella.
No, never had it. Obviously I always like to grab beers I've never had. And I don't know, I thought you'd probably had it, but I wasn't sure.
That's where I was. I was like,
Yeah. So I grabbed it, and I'm glad I did, because if I would have grabbed Kona, I would have flipped shit.
That'd have been funny.
Would have flipped shit. So we got... These look fancy.
They do.
To me. We've got like a little paper covering over the...
I think this is not a twist cap. Yeah.
Is it not?
Not a twist cap. Stella
Artois. God dang it, the paper is...
Brewed in the USA. Stella Artois, St. Louis, Mo. 600 years of brewing heritage.
Interesting.
Brewed with all malt. What's our percentage? 5%.
600 years. Do you think there's... Because it says NO 1330 or 1366 there. You think there's any validity to that? You think this exact beer has been brewed for 600 years?
Is it Belgium? Well, yeah.
If that is true, and I'm inclined to believe it is, of course, that is absurd.
It's fully believable. The Vikings had mead. Like, I'm sure...
600 years.
I'm sure there are some brewmasters that have roots back to, like, mead back in the day. Yeah. This says brewed in the USA under the strict supervision of the brewmasters from Leuven, Belgium, for uncompromised quality.
Huh.
This beer is sticking its nose up at me right now. It is. Better stand up.
It is. It's telling me it's on its high horse right now. It smells good.
It smells kind of sweet.
It smells a little sweet. It smells almost a little... Are you getting a chemical smell in there at all?
Not really. You know what's weird?
What's that?
This could be because I had this last night. I got the faintest hint of pizza.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, yes.
Okay. I'm getting a bit of like a... And you probably won't be able to hear it on the recording, but we are sniffing shit. We are going nose in.
Nose tips all off in there.
I'm getting... Oh.
You smelled it.
Now that you say it,
you smelled the pizza? I swear, dude. That's the strangest thing.
No, I smell it. 100% I smell it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's there. I'm
gonna see if the mic can pick up the sniff. Hold on. It may have got a little bit. I smell it, yeah.
No, it did. I see it.
I'm getting lightheaded from all the deep breathing.
All right, let's drink this.
Yeah, let's do what it's meant to do. Oh, buddy. That's good.
Yeah,
You don't like it?
I like it.
That's damn good.
I like it.
I like that a lot. I must be in a good beer mood tonight. I don't know.
You like the Kona?
I gave the Kona a really high rating. I think I'm going to give this a really high rating. This is something that... Does the bottle seem skinnier than a typical bottle to you?
Yes, it does. So typically, like with Miller and Busch, Bud even, it's like a straight bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this one kind of flares out.
Yeah, it's got an ass on it.
What's that?
The bottle has an ass on it.
Yeah.
Slim, thick.
You know what? When
I
they
think
say,
it's what the kids are saying.
You know what? Body like a Coke bottle. I bet this is where it's from. They used to flare out the bottles
Is that
like
a thing? Body like a Coke bottle?
Yeah, she got a body like a Coke bottle.
Who says that?
Rappers back in like 2003.
I'm not well versed in that, I guess.
Okay, well, I mean, they said it. You know,
Okay.
you can just take my word for
I'll
it.
take your word for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know much about the Sodder Children. Heard of it. I know that there's a whole lot of speculation and conspiracy and everything else that we love in this show.
For sure.
So I would like for you to tell me and our listener / perhaps listeners about the Sodder Children.
Let's do it. George and Jenny Sodder and 9 of their 10 children were at home enjoying Christmas Eve, winding down for the night. Marion, the oldest daughter at 19, had just returned home from her job at a local dime store and had surprised her younger siblings with some early Christmas gifts. Martha, age 12, Jenny, age 8, and Betty, age 5, were thrilled and asked their mother if they could stay up past their normal bedtime. Jenny agreed since 2 of the older brothers, Maurice and Louis, were still awake. She herself took little Sylvia, 3 years old, to bed downstairs. Maurice and Louis had to go outside and feed the animals. That's why they were still awake.
Well, they had to go outside and what?
Feed the animals.
Dude, I thought you said beat the animals. I was like, why are they doing that? Anyway, could you imagine having 10 children?
10 kids. One of them, I already forgot the guy's name, but he was in the Army and he was away, so he was not at the Sodder home.
Okay.
But yeah, none of the kids were still there.
Gotcha.
One was away with the Army.
Okay.
George and his 2 oldest sons, John, age 23, and George Jr., age 16, all worked at the family's coal mining business. They had already gone to bed before 10 p.m. that night. George slept in the downstairs bedroom while the 2 boys shared one of the attic bedrooms upstairs. So I guess, yeah, let me do that. Let me lay out kind of the layout of this house.
Okay.
So John and George Jr. were upstairs. There were 2 bedrooms in the attic. John and George, the 2 oldest, they shared a bedroom. The 5 youngest, Martha, Jenny, Betty, Maurice, and Louis, shared the other attic bedroom, connected by a hallway up there.
Before you go any further, can I ask, time-wise, where are we at?
1945.
1945. Did you say that in the intro and I just missed it?
I did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries.
So 1945, so I'm assuming there's no central heating and air. So being in the attic wouldn't be... Because like when I think of... As soon as you said they have bedrooms in the attic, I'm thinking, well, it's going to be really hot or really cold depending on time of the year. Mm-hmm. But if it's 45 in West Virginia...
45 in West Virginia on Christmas Eve.
I imagine there's no central heating and air in this house. Maybe a furnace.
Probably not.
There's probably a furnace.
Fire. Like the kids, it's warm enough for the kids to sleep up there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they probably had, like I said, they probably had a furnace that distributed heat to the whole house. Okay, sorry. Continue laying out the words.
Around 12:30 a.m., Jenny was awoken by the phone ringing. She went downstairs to answer it. That is incorrect. So George and Jenny's bedroom was downstairs.
Okay.
So she wasn't upstairs and came downstairs. She was downstairs, went out to the living room, I guess, to answer the phone.
Okay.
Sorry about that. On the other end, an unfamiliar female voice asked for someone Jenny didn't know. She could hear glasses clinking and laughter in the background. When Jenny told the caller she had the wrong number, the woman laughed strangely before hanging up.
Do we know who the woman asked for?
They actually tracked this woman down later on. I didn't get the name, but she says, yes, I dialed the wrong number. Like nothing more mysterious there.
Because they probably had the like rotary dial system at this point,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Okay. So I mean, a false, or I was about to say a false call. A wrong number would not be out of the question.
Not
I mean,
unheard of, I would guess. I'm going to do a quick Frost Buddy test. Bear with me.
Yeah, let's see how
Frost
it fits.
Buddy does not work with Stella Artois.
Does it not?
It does not.
Oh, yeah, that's a big yuck.
Yeah. Anyways.
How did it work with the Kona, though? Because it's an odd-shaped bottle, too.
Great.
Okay.
No problems there. Frost Buddy, please sponsor us.
Please.
We love you. Well, I love you.
I mean, I would, too, if I had one. Yeah. If you sponsored us. I'm kidding. I plan on buying one because they're pretty cool.
Jenny noticed that Marion had fallen asleep on the couch and assumed the 5 younger children had gone up to the attic. But something felt off. The lights were still on, the doors were unlocked, and the curtains were open. Those were all things the children normally took care of before bed. Around 1 a.m., Jenny was awoken again, this time by the sound she later described as a loud thud, followed by a rolling noise across the roof. She found it odd, but didn't think much of it and went back to sleep. Roughly 30 minutes later, she awoke for a third time, this time to the smell of smoke. She woke George, who then woke Marion. George tried to reach the attic to get to the younger children, but flames had already engulfed the stairway. John and George Jr. managed to escape through the smoke-filled hallway and told their parents that the path to the attic was completely blocked.
I want to go back a little bit.
Sure.
You said, Jenny, 1 a.m. you wake up, you hear a thud followed by a rolling noise across the roof.
Yeah.
Jenny is the oldest, right? She's 19?
So Jenny is the mother.
Marion, I'm sorry.
Marion is 19.
Right. So Jenny, I guess my point was she's an adult. She's the mother. I would think that if you hear a thud and a rolling across your roof, you are going to investigate that.
I mean, you're at a house that is on the outskirts of an already small town.
Yeah.
Think about like here. Like if you woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning and you heard something rolling on your roof, would you go back to sleep? Or would you...
Hell no. I would go out in the front yard.
Investigate.
And I'm going to, yeah.
Jenny, George, John, Marion, and George Jr., along with Sylvia, made it outside. They began shouting and throwing objects at the attic windows, trying desperately to wake the trapped children, but got no response. Jenny attempted to call the fire department, but the phone was dead. Marion ran to the neighbor's house to call for help, while a passing motorist who saw the flames stopped at a nearby tavern to do the same.
Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah.
That your house can be completely up in flames and you're trying to wake up people that are probably asleep in the attic. You can't get to them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's either you run in and probably burn to death or let them burn. And your phone's dead for some reason. You don't know why.
I mean, 45, they're talking about a house or a landline now.
Yeah, it's probably not crazy for the phone to be dead or not working. Or
That'd be a key point, the phone not working. We'll delve more into that here soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, deliberate phone business, huh? Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
You can either confirm or deny. But yeah, this whole story is going to be a parent's worst nightmare. Parent's worst nightmare. Use that as kind of a content warning for what's to come.
Okay.
So, George, John, and George Jr. rushed to grab a ladder from its usual spot along the side of the house, but it was gone. A large barrel of water they kept for emergencies was frozen solid. In desperation, George tried to move his coal trucks up to the house to climb on them and reach the attic window, but neither truck would start, despite both having worked fine earlier that day.
I'm beginning to think there is something afoot here.
Yeah. Phone wasn't working. Your ladder isn't there. Your trucks won't start, even though we discussed how the boys got home and went to bed.
I mean, clearly, this is... I don't want to say clearly it's deliberate yet. Yeah. Obviously, we just got into it. I don't have all the facts. But with the current facts we do have, I would say, yeah, this is looking deliberate.
At this point, it seems deliberate, or they just have the worst luck imaginable.
Especially considering at 1 o'clock in the morning they heard something on their roof.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that could have been, but this is probably, I'm guessing a 2-story house with an attic. So, it's It's a tall house.
Yeah.
I'm guessing like 30, 40 feet.
Something like that, maybe.
It's a long ways up.
Yeah.
For somebody, if that's a person up there.
Even though the Fayetteville Fire Department was only about 2.5 miles away, they didn't arrive until around 8 a.m. By then, the Sodder home was reduced to ashes. The remaining Sodder family assumed the 5 missing children had perished in the fire, but when the fire department sifted through the debris, they found no remains. Fire Chief F.J. Morris told the Sodders that the blaze had likely burned hot enough to completely destroy all traces of the children's bodies.
So teeth, bone fragments.
His explanation was there was nothing left.
Well, can we... I'm going to do a live lookup.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
No?
I wouldn't.
Okay. I was going to look up, like, what temperature fire has to be. No?
Wouldn't do it.
Is it going to give something away?
I'll cover that.
Okay. Oh, you're going to get to it. Okay.
I'll cover it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of you. I'm sorry. Getting excited over here.
We'll cover that. Again, Fire Chief F.J. Morris began investigating the scene and discovered some alarming details, but ultimately concluded the fire was caused by faulty wiring. That was his conclusion.
Did anybody back that up? Like,
we'll get to that as well.
All right,
but just what he was seeing while on the scene, that's what he said he thought happened.
That's fair. I mean, you're
no,
not going to assume.
You're
You're not going to assume somebody came and just started a fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair enough.
Some of those details included the ladder George had intended to use to rescue his children was found 75 feet away, thrown down an embankment. There was an immediate contradiction to Morris's conclusion. If the lights were still on while the family was escaping, how could faulty wiring have been the cause?
Well, you can have like one section be faulty, but the rest of the house still be working, right? I don't know how 1945 electric. I mean, I know modern day, like you can have a plug go out in your house, but
they had Christmas lights on. The lights in the living room were still on because Marion was still asleep on the couch. Whenever Jenny went out to answer the phone call at 12:30, I thought I noted. Yeah, I did note this. The lights were still on. The door was unlocked. Curtains were still open.
Yep. You said that was not normal.
Not normal.
Yeah.
But the living room lights were still on and the Christmas lights were still on. To me, it feels like faulty wiring. That's probably going to fault the entire breaker.
Maybe. And like that, like I said, kind of a testament to modern day electrical wiring compared to today's. Because today you can have like a section be faulty and the rest of the house still be functioning correctly. Like that. But back then, I don't know.
I didn't go that in-depth with the research.
Yeah, back then they had what was probably known as knob and tube wiring. And I think if one section goes out, kind of kaputs the whole thing. So I would agree with if they say it was faulty wiring, there should have been no power anywhere in the house. So that's interesting. Very interesting.
Chief Morris told the Sodders to leave the site undisturbed so that the state fire marshal's office could conduct a more thorough investigation. But after 4 days with no progress, George decided he couldn't bear to look at the ruins any longer. He bulldozed over the site and covered it with dirt he had purchased, creating a memorial garden for his children.
That is weird.
It is weird, but I tend to put myself in his shoes. I mean, imagine you're homeless at this point, but imagine you go to where you're assuming 5 of your children have just died, and you're waiting on somebody to come and tell you how they died.
Yeah, but you're waiting for someone to come tell you how they died. So instead of just waiting, you decide to bulldoze over their, like, what?
But I mean, somebody giving you an explanation as to why your house caught on fire isn't going to change the fact that your kids are dead.
I do not think that is absurd.
It is weird. I'm not saying it's not weird, but I'm saying
more than weird. That's fucking crazy.
I understand where he's coming from.
I don't at all.
I do.
I understand maybe you are upset. Maybe you don't want to go there, but going there, contaminating the scene, you don't have a clue what happened. They're still investigating, and you bulldoze over it and cover it up like that.
Okay,
that immediately, to me, that makes me think that you're trying to cover something up.
On the fire marshal's office, they should have been more prompt. Like, this family has just lost 5 of its members in the span of a couple hours. Like, come and do your job so they can move on.
Probably so, but I don't think there's a situation where the dad bulldozing the remains of the house and then covering it like that.
You're right.
Dude, that's crazy.
You're right.
It's
weird.
That to me is like a let me go cover my tracks type of thing.
Think so.
I mean,
so
obviously
already you're implicating grieving father George Sodder.
What the hell is he thinking? I don't like grieving.
I mean, he's probably
get
not thinking rationally.
But dude, bulldozing the scene where your children just died, and they haven't even made a conclusion yet. What are you doing?
I don't have an answer for you. I do somewhat understand where his mind is.
I don't understand a bit.
I'm not saying I would do it, but I do get.
I don't think anybody would do this. Maybe you take a bulldozer and you go knock down a building somewhere because you're so upset, but to cover up the literal site that is still being investigated where they died, that is absurd.
It's odd.
It's all right. Let's keep going.
The fire was officially ruled to have been caused by faulty wiring, and by December 30th, death certificates for all 5 children were issued. On the surface, the explanation made sense, but too many things just didn't add up. Fire experts now say that a typical house fire cannot burn hot enough to completely destroy human remains. There should have been bone fragments, teeth, something to indicate a human body had burned there. Yet not a single trace of the children were found.
So, I think that is absurd.
The fact that nothing was found?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that, like, he immediately rules it faulty wiring. Which, if he genuinely thought that's what it was, fine. You can't rule it out, whatever. There's no, like, first of all, where are the children? If there's no, like, remains, then where the hell are they?
Yeah.
Did somebody take them? Did they run away? Did they start the fire? Like,
That's some stuff we'll get into.
Okay.
The average house fire reaches peak temperatures of roughly 1,100 to 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit, while a crematorium worker once told Jenny Sodder that they cremate bodies at around 2,000 degrees for 2 hours. The Sodder home burned to the ground in just 45 minutes.
Okay, I see why you told me not to look up.
Yeah. Physically impossible that all traces of human remains were destroyed in 45 minutes. Just, it is not possible.
It's one of those things that there has to be something else going there. Like, you have to assume, is the fire chief involved in whatever's going on here? If not, is he just incompetent? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, someone is covering something up, or everyone's just so incompetent to the fact that this isn't possible.
I mean, ignore competency levels entirely. So, when the parents went to bed, the kids stayed up later than they did. It's Christmas Eve. They're playing with toys.
Right, of course.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But if you believe your kids are in their bedroom and a fire starts, as tragic as it is, you have to assume they were in the house when it burned down.
Yeah.
It is physically impossible for there to be not a single trace of them in the debris.
Especially for 5 of them. Like, I would get if maybe one of them.
Yeah.
Like, no trace found, possibly 2, but all 5? You're telling me
Nothing.
It got so hot that all 5 of them completely burned up? Teeth, bones, everything?
Absolutely nothing there.
Not possible. No. The experts are telling us right here it's not possible.
So I will say, like, what the numbers I gave you, this was after the fact. Like, Jenny Sodder consulted with a crematorium worker. What Morris said, it was incorrect, but he may have just genuinely not
known. Yeah.
It may have not been incompetence. Maybe he was just, hey, I mean, those fires get very hot. It could have destroyed any remains.
But then that begs a question. I guess 2 questions. Did it burn hot enough, long enough to burn up 5 people in their entirety? I don't think so.
No, we know it didn't.
We know for a fact it did not. B, where the hell are they?
Yep, that's where we are. Furthermore, if the fire had truly burned hot enough to completely incinerate the children, the basement should have been obliterated, but it remained largely intact, only damaged by falling debris. Adding to the doubts, George had the home's wiring inspected that fall by the power company, who confirmed it was in excellent condition. Neighbors reported seeing unfamiliar cars parked near the Sodder home in the days leading up to the fire. In one instance, a block and tackle system was stolen from the yard.
So you have a whole bunch of shit that all of a sudden is not adding up. Weird stuff. The power company says, hey, your wiring is immaculate.
Yeah.
Shit's coming up missing. Night of, phone lines cut. Weird rumblings on the roof.
I'll say this. I'll interject really quickly. We
Okay.
don't know that the phone lines are cut at this point.
Oh, okay.
We don't know that.
I guess I'm making my basis off of the intro. That is on me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, either way, phone line dead.
Yeah.
For an unexplained reason.
The phone was working at 12:30. We know that because Jenny
Right.
Sodder took a call.
She got the call from the unknown woman.
Yep.
Okay. And I think the odds of that happening also really weird.
Yeah.
A mistaken call 30 minutes before the most horrific tragedy this town's probably ever seen. Anyway.
A lot of things just don't add up right now.
No, a whole lot of weird shit's going on. I've got a theory cooking.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a theory cooking. You keep on reading. I'm going to keep
Isn't it weird?
cooking.
Like, now, you could see, like, a car turn around in your driveway. You could have, I don't know, your hammock stolen from your yard. It's odd. It's weird. It's not normal. But it's not necessarily really anything until, like, say, a tragedy happens here.
Right.
Like, it's so weird. We've covered a lot of stories that were like that. Little things have happened that were brushed off. And then after the fact, after something horrible happened, they all of a sudden have more meaning.
And that's actually a really good point that I hadn't really thought about until just now.
Yeah.
I think that you take any little thing, like the phone going out, that's not weird at all for 1945 West Virginia.
Sure.
However, to us, almost 100 years later, the phone being out on the night there 5 people died, it's weird.
Random caller who's laughing. We hear drinks and laughing in the background. Maybe she was at a Christmas party. She called someone. Maybe she's drunk, accidentally misdialed.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. But because what happened, it's now all of a sudden very weird and strange.
Well, and now I will say, no matter how you look at it, was it George Jr. or whoever's ladder being 75 feet away down an embankment?
Yes. So, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Both their trucks not starting, that's weird.
That's weird, but I mean, they didn't. It's heavily implied that they were sabotaged in some way, but there's no evidence to support the fact. Like, there's no, like, distributor cap's not missing. Nothing's missing. The trucks just won't start.
Okay.
In fact, one of the family members would later say he believed they flooded the engines when they were trying to get them going because they were so frantic, which is entirely possible.
I was going to say, back then, engines, I mean, you're talking probably a late 30s, early 40s model vehicle. It's probably not the most advanced mechanism. So, yeah.
But again, because we have this major tragedy, everything seems malicious. Everything seems like it was done by someone else.
Maybe it's just shitty luck.
It very well could be the case.
But the latter,
that's weird.
We talk about this all the time. There's always that one thing that is not explainable.
I think at this point, I may add a few more points here soon, but at this point, the ladder being 75 feet away down an embankment, that is the one thing you can look to and just be like, okay, that didn't happen on its own.
There is something else going on here.
Yeah.
I've got a theory.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay.
I'm going to develop it as you go.
Sounds good. While constructing the Sodder's new home, a telephone repairman made another discovery. The family's phone line hadn't been burned in the fire. It had been cut. The man, later suspected of stealing the block and tackle, admitted to cutting the line, claiming he thought it was a power line instead of the telephone wire.
Oh, this may be ignorant of me. What is block and tackle?
It's like a pulley system. Like, you got the big frame, and then in the middle, pull it up. We'll do a live look up.
Okay, live look up.
It's like a pulley system.
Okay.
But you should visualize it.
Block and tackle pulley system. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to, I guess, pick up something heavy, I'm sure.
I mean, they have a coal company.
Yeah.
I'm sure that comes in handy.
Okay. Probably picking up big buckets of coal or whatever. A cart.
Not anything crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the guy that said that they eventually arrested the guy that stole the block and tackle system. He says he cut it thinking it was a power line, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because if you're trying to be discreet and steal this block and tackle system, why are you cutting the power?
Yeah. Show up, take it, leave.
Yeah. Come in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be asleep. Take it and leave.
Why would you cut any, maybe they knew it was the phone line. They're like, hey, cut the phone line. That way, if they see us out here, they try to call the police. They can't.
Well, I mean, the fire department took 7 hours to get to you 2.5 miles away.
That's true.
So, can't imagine the police department's going to be any more help.
That's a good point. The house was gone by the time the fire department showed up. So
tragic.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Around the time of the fire, a bus driver passing by the Sodder home that night reported seeing someone throwing, quote, balls of fire onto the roof shortly before the blaze began. This claim was never substantiated, but it could explain the thud and rolling sound Jenny heard on the roof just before the fire started. So I feel like that should be substantiated at this point.
I mean,
if you have someone potentially offering an explanation as to how the fire started,
yeah,
go talk to him. We don't even know the guy's name.
Throwing balls of fire. What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that. This whole story's all over the damn place.
Well, months later, after the snow had melted, little Sylvia was playing near the memorial garden when she found a small green ball-like object in the brush. George believed it looked like a, quote, pineapple bomb, a type of small incendiary device.
What?
Yeah.
What is a pineapple bomb?
That's a small incendiary device.
Okay, well.
To me, I don't know, like maybe if you douse the house in gasoline and then throw rubber balls also coated in gasoline, like that's probably a good way to start a fire.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what to make of this. There's a lot of information that it doesn't necessarily conflict with each other, but it doesn't support each other either.
There's just a lot of information.
There's a lot of shit going on. Phone lines cut, ladders found far away.
Yeah.
Some guy's seen throwing a flaming ball on the roof. There's a thud. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I had a theory. It just kind of went out the window.
I didn't do a lot of research into this, and I should have. That's on me. But I would really like to know where fire science was in 1945. Like, were they able to detect accelerants? Like, could they tell, oh, there was gasoline all over the house when it was caught on fire?
Surely that would be pretty prevalent, though. Like, in a report, like in a story like this, I feel like it would be everywhere. Like, oh, the house was covered in gas.
But, I mean,
if they were able to detect it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if not,
in 1945, can you detect that? Because I think these days, they like send a dog in, and the dog alerts to accelerant or something like that.
Well, I mean, they can do like chemical testing.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But, I mean, if this bus driver is being truthful and he actually saw somebody throwing balls of fire onto the house, it's very pertinent information. You should go and investigate this man.
Absolutely.
Hear his story at the very least.
He should be questioned.
Yeah.
For one, what is a bus driver doing out at 1 a.m.? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Was he driving the bus? Do we know?
Bus driver was going down their road, which, mind you,
at 1 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve?
It was 2 miles away from downtown Fayetteville, which is a small town to begin with.
I was going to say 1945, West Virginia, small town. We're probably talking about a few hundred people here.
There's probably greyhounds that travel through the night.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
It's weird.
That is weird. I would love to know the identity of the bus driver.
Yeah.
And what their role might or might not be in this.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The Sodders were convinced the strange circumstances surrounding that night simply didn't make sense. They began to believe their 5 missing children had not died in the fire at all. Determined to uncover the truth, the family hired a private investigator to dig deeper into the events of that night and search for any additional clues. And with that, we'll get into some theories. George Sodder, an Italian immigrant himself, was very outspoken about his anti-Mussolini beliefs. Fayetteville had a large Italian-American population, and his political stance made him plenty of enemies. One such enemy was an insurance salesman who visited the Sodder home in the fall before the fire. When he realized he wasn't going to close the sale, he became angry and told George,
"Your house will go up in smoke and your children will be destroyed. You will pay for what you have said about Mussolini."
That same insurance salesman later served on the coroner's inquest that ruled the fire was caused by faulty wiring.
See, that's collusion to me. Like that, you can't.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
And I don't imagine that quote is exact, like your house will go up in smoke, but I imagine it was something along those lines.
I mean, it's that same quote is in a few different sources.
God, yeah, I mean that, man. And but also, anti-Mussolini population in West Virginia.
Well,
that's I guess we're talking 1945. So okay, all right, makes sense.
But see, to me, if you are so pro Mussolini, why did you immigrate to America?
Yeah, and West Virginia of all places.
Apparently, Fayetteville had a very large Italian population.
That's interesting. Okay, well, I would say that quote has probably a lot to do with. Well, I won't say it has a lot to do with. I would say it has a relevance, if you will.
Yeah. It's
to what has happened to this family.
It's odd. I feel like if I was an insurance salesman, I would probably I'd be upset. I probably wouldn't outwardly say your kids are going to be destroyed.
No. Your children will be destroyed. That's a line
that is so close to what actually happened.
And if you say that to like anybody with a child, like that's a threat to me. As a threat, like if I'm gonna have a child soon. Excuse me, I'm gonna have a child soon. You say that to me, I'm taking that as a threat.
You're not leaving my property.
I imagine you would feel the same.
You're not leaving my property.
Yeah.
If you say something like that.
Yeah, I would agree. That is, hopefully, this insurance salesman was investigated.
Well,
God.
George also had a reputation for being independent and stubborn in business. He refused to cooperate with certain local union leaders and reportedly rejected involvement in mafia rackets that operated in the region at the time. There isn't much concrete evidence to support the idea that organized crime was involved, but the theory isn't far-fetched. It fits the kind of intimidation tactics the mafia was known for. They wanted leverage over George. Kidnapping his children would have been an effective way to do so.
But if you want to kidnap their children, why would you burn the house down? Just kidnap the kids.
Good diversion.
It is a good diversion. And I guess, scare tactic as well.
Yeah. That was George and Jenny's mindset, really. If they chose to believe the mafia was involved in some way, which very well could be a possibility. There's no evidence to really support that, but that's kind of how the mafia operates. Mm-hmm. But the fire was in their minds just a diversion if they choose to believe the mafia was involved.
Like, surely you can't abduct, because that would mean that either during or before or somehow after the fire, they abducted these kids, right?
Yeah.
All of the kids were accounted for that night in their beds, asleep. I would assume.
So, it's a good point. Let's run through what we know at this point before we really dive into the theories.
So the 5 kids that were missing, were they accounted for?
So
when I say, sorry to cut you off, when I say accounted for, I mean, had somebody seen them at some point that night?
At some point that night, yes. But remember, Marion, the 19-year-old, the oldest daughter, brought home toys from the Five and Dime,
Right.
from the dime store. Gave them to the kids. These are the 5 youngest kids. They asked Jenny if they could stay up late and play with their toys because they were very excited. It's Christmas Eve. All that checks out. Makes sense. George and his 2 oldest came home from their coal hauling job, went to bed. Came home, got in bed.
Yep.
Understandable. Jenny told the kids, okay, you can stay up, play with your toys, finish your chores before you go to bed. Marion also stayed up with the kids, and Maurice and Louis, the 3 older outside of George Jr. and John. So Martha, Jenny, Betty, 12, 8, and 5, Maurice and Louis, 14 and 9, and Marion, 19, were all downstairs.
Okay. All accounted for.
All accounted for when the parents went to bed.
Okay. Which was at what time?
Around 10.
Around 10 o'clock.
Around 12:30, a little after midnight, Jenny is awoken by the phone call. She goes into the living room. The lights are on. The door is unlocked. The blinds are open. And Marion is asleep on the couch. So the last time we can confidently say the kids were accounted for in the house was around 10 o'clock when Jenny went to bed.
And this is the last absolute moment where somebody at some point laid eyes on them, and then at 1 a.m., fire breaks out. So there's 3 hours?
Around 1 a.m., Jenny is woken up. Or
by the thud.
Yeah, the thud. 12:30, we know for a fact Marion was asleep on the couch. Again, door was unlocked, lights were on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know when exactly Marion fell asleep, but Jenny apparently assumed the kids went to bed by 12:30.
Okay. So from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's just a big blank slate.
Kind of.
Essentially.
I didn't find any real quotes from Marion, but I'm assuming, she was working. She's probably tired. Probably doesn't have a good memory of those 2.5 hours.
Yeah. She brought her siblings a bunch of toys and went to bed.
She didn't really go to bed. She fell asleep on the couch watching the kids play.
Yeah. So, do we know? Can you touch on which 5 are missing / burned up?
So Maurice 14, Louis 9, Martha was 12, Jenny was 8, and Betty was 5. So the 5 youngest siblings, outside of Sylvia, she was asleep in bed with George and Jenny.
Right. Sylvia was 3, correct?
Sylvia was 3, yes.
Was 3. So outside of Sylvia, the 5 youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Abduction doesn't seem super far-fetched.
It doesn't. If
abduction and then set the house on fire. Maybe George Senior's involved in some kind of nasty business.
Mafia.
Yeah.
That's one of the theories. He's pissed off the mafia.
Yeah. If you're anti-Mussolini, you're going to piss off the mafia.
I don't know. We can't say for sure anyone was in the home outside of the Sodder family. It is weird that the door was unlocked and the lights were on. Maybe if there were all these strange cars, maybe someone noticed Marion was asleep. Oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get the kids, and then start the fire. That's our diversion. They're going to be more worried about the fire than they are, where are the kids?
Yeah.
They're going to assume the kids died in the fire.
Maybe they're, snag them as they run out. If that's light the fire, grab anybody you can.
We know that didn't happen because Jenny woke up because of the smoke.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You keep reading theories.
Okay.
I'm going to develop a theory as we go because I've got a pretty. You know what? I've solved it.
Okay. All right. The private investigator hired by the Sodders later heard a disturbing rumor that Fire Chief F.J. Morris had found a heart among the ashes and secretly buried it in a metal box. When confronted, Morris admitted to burying something and led the family to the spot. But when the box was exhumed and examined by the medical examiner, it wasn't a heart at all. It was a piece of beef liver.
Okay, so
don't read ahead. If you have a comment, don't read ahead.
I'm not reading ahead. I am making a comment on what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have an explanation for that. I think
threw your hands up.
Right. Yeah, I threw. For those of you that can't see, which is all of you, I threw my hands up in the sky because the fire chief burying a piece of beef liver.
Well,
in a metal box at the crime scene?
He said it was a heart. He thought it was a heart. He said he thought it was a heart. He buried it.
Why on God's green earth would he do that? Or are you about to get to that?
Morris later confessed to a local priest that he had placed a liver there intentionally, hoping the Sodders would find it and find closure.
So that tells me immediately that Fire Chief Morris knows what is going on. B, just wants to cover it up so the family will forget about it.
My belief with that is it is extremely unethical, completely idiotic, and just really dumb. Just a dumb thing to do. I do think maybe his heart was in the right place. And I mean, if what he told the priest was true, he was trying to give the family closure so they could move on.
But he didn't tell the family.
Yeah.
Tell the family then. If that's your explanation that you want the family to have closure, then go to the family the second you find this body part and be like, guys, I think I just found the heart to one of your children. I want you to know that I genuinely think they all burned up in this fire.
Doesn't even make sense. If there's no bones, why would there be a heart? That doesn't make any sense.
You wouldn't find, the only thing you would find is bones or teeth. It would be, like, structurally, it would be of bones.
But maybe he wanted them to find it so they wouldn't say, oh, you planted that, whatever. You know, that's me playing devil's advocate. I don't know what his thought process was, but from the explanation we have, which is all we can really take into account, I somewhat understand what he was thinking.
I don't. To me, it
wasn't well executed. I'll tell you that much.
This looks like the actions of someone who knows something but wants to cover it up.
Very well could be the case.
That's what this looks like to me. Like, it outside looking in. If I just want to help the family. Well, the way you can help the family is tell the family, hey, I just found the body part of one of your children that you thought burned up. This confirms they burned up.
Yeah.
So, now you can rest easier. I know it's not I know it's horrific, but now you know they weren't kidnapped.
Why would you not find like an animal bone or something?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if that's your mission, then just toss a deer leg in there.
Yeah.
Do anything else other than a fucking piece of beef liver. Yeah. And then lie about it.
I don't know. It's strange. I don't necessarily think his intentions were bad, though.
So you think he's just an idiot who's trying to help?
I think he's just...
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting to. An idiot trying to help.
I never met the guy. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't even thought of at this point. My grandparents weren't even thought of at this point. It was an unbelievably strange and insensitive act, and it only deepened the family's suspicions that Morris might have been covering something up.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no logic to that.
It doesn't look good.
No logic at all.
Doesn't look good. All right, so theories aren't really too deep. It really, I mean, the mafia is heavily implied. It's kind of about as deep as it goes, really. And the stuff with Morris is strange for sure. It will get into kind of like the aftermath, what happened after the fire and kind of how the family carried on.
Okay.
Sometime after the Sodder family home burned down, another family in the area suffered a similar tragedy. Their house caught fire, and all 7 members of that family perished inside. But in that case, all 7 sets of skeletal remains were found intact. 2 things.
That is an unbelievable thing for 7... Okay, 3 things, actually. For a family of 7 to burn up in a house is absurd. For a family of 7 and 5 children in a completely separate incident to happen in the same exact fashion is even more absurd. Third, if there's mafia activity in Fayetteville, West Virginia in 1945, I am beside myself.
What do you mean?
What the hell is going on? People are burning up in houses? Like,
You think we're dealing with like a serial arsonist or something?
I think we are.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to hold my theory, but so my theory at first was, you know what? I'm going to keep holding it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to keep holding it because this only affirms my theory. So
okay,
I'm going
to. I mean, that's kind of makes sense. The detail about the other family's house fire haunted Jenny. She began conducting her own experiments in the kitchen oven, burning animal bones to see whether intense heat could completely destroy them. No matter how long she burned them, fragments always remained. That sucks. Like, the science isn't there. The oven is not going to get hot enough to simulate a house fire. But, I mean, you're grieving. You've just lost 5 of your children as a mother. Like,
that's a heartbreaking thought. And, to think of a mother trying to justify something by burning an animal. And I mean, that...
Well, it was bones. She didn't kill animals just to put them in the oven.
I mean, even if she did, like, I would be, like,
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah. It's one of those things where there's nothing you can do. You just feel horrible.
In 1949, George came across a photo in a magazine showing a group of young ballet dancers at a New York dance school. One of the girls looked strikingly similar to his missing daughter, Betty. He drove all the way to New York and demanded to see her, but was refused entry on multiple occasions, which is understandable. I do get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Man shows up demanding to see a little girl, I'd be like, absolutely not.
Like, as a father...
You understand his side of it too, though.
I get it, but you can't just go and demand to see some random little girl.
Yeah.
That looks really bad.
Yeah.
Desperate, George reached out to the FBI and personally corresponded with J. Edgar Hoover, who replied,
"Although I would like to be of service, the matter related appears to be of local character and does not come within the investigative jurisdiction of this Bureau."
Hoover added that if local authorities requested FBI assistance, he would gladly get involved, but Fayetteville officials never reached out.
How convenient.
To me, it seems like the sentiment with the Sodder situation is the officials told them what they believed happened. They were not able to find any credible evidence of anything else going on outside of the glaring piece that the house fire could not have burned hot enough. But that's all you have.
But, I mean, you still have to put yourself in the mind of a 1940s police officer. Mm-hmm. Like, you see a house burn down, 5 people are now gone.
Yeah. What else are you supposed to think?
Are you supposed to assume, like, okay, let's say somebody abducted these 5 kids.
Yeah.
Are we going to find them now?
Like, if there's no evidence to suggest that's a possibility, where do you go?
Because if your boss, like, if say I'm a police officer, my boss comes to me and says, "Hey guys, the Sodder family incident, all 5 of those kids burned up in a fire."
Yeah.
And that's that. Case closed, whatever. You're not going to question that. Because in 1945, the average person is not going to know that bones can't melt in a fire. Yeah. We know now because we have the information readily available. Back then, they're not going to know.
No. Yeah, I mean...
So it's hard to fault them.
I can't really blame them for not asking for the FBI. It's like on the surface, it seems open and shut. But, I mean, I do also sympathize with the family because...
Absolutely.
If there's no evidence to suggest your kids have died in this fire, of course, like, you're going to do everything you can to help get more eyes on the situation and figure out what happened.
Well, and that kind of makes me think, too, like, the fire chief having involvement, like, he wouldn't have said what he said, did what he did, claimed what he claimed if he didn't know something. He immediately claimed, oh, well, yeah, they burned up completely, no trace left in the fire. Why would he immediately jump to that conclusion? Unless he just didn't give a shit.
I mean, 2 schools of thought there. You either believe that he intentionally hid something up, or covered something up, he intentionally covered something up, or he was just that incompetent. Like, he meant well, but he was that incompetent that it came off as malice.
And to make that kind of claim too is absurd. Like, do they have the science to even back up that, like, that temperature melts bones if the fire got to that temperature, which it probably didn't, blah, blah, blah.
From what I gathered, like, what we know about the average peak temperature of house fires, that's kind of like a new study. But the crematorium worker did tell Jenny, we burn bodies at 2,000 degrees for hours, and there's still fragments. Like, that was kind of Jenny Sodder putting two and two together. George contacted Oscar Hunter, a pathologist from Washington, D.C., to help excavate the site of the fire in search of new evidence. Several digs were conducted, and among the dirt they unearthed a few artifacts, including a Sodder family dictionary, some coins, and pieces of human bone.
Yeah, okay, well, you want to know why they had to excavate? Because George fucking covered this shit up.
Yeah.
Why did he do that? I'm still so stuck on that.
But does it not, in your mind, kind of free him up now that he's asking a pathologist to come and excavate?
No. This would have been easier to do had he not covered it up.
I mean, grief-stricken father, like...
And okay, like...
He made a brash decision. That's what I see. I could be wrong.
I'm trying to see it that way. I mean, I don't know how a person would react to losing five children.
Kids.
That's an unimaginable scenario, right? Like,
most people don't even have 5 kids.
Right, and most people, knock on wood, don't even lose a child at any point in their life. So to lose 5
in one night.
In one instance, essentially. You're talking about something unimaginable. But I cannot, for the life of me, think that at any point, like say I have 10 kids, if I lose 5 of them, I'm almost certain I'm not going to go to the site where they were killed and just bulldoze it over. Mm-hmm. Especially if I'm still waiting on to because this site is pertinent to finding out what happened to them. I'm certainly not going to tamper with it and destroy it and cover it up.
You have to understand, like, no one outside the Sodders really believed that the Sodder children were still alive. Like, the Sodder family at this point are the only ones that think kidnapping was a possibility.
So then how does bulldozing over the site help anything?
Again, you're a grief-stricken father. You have to look at the house where 5 of your children
You don't
died
have to
in
look
one
at
night.
it. Don't go there.
You're homeless. You're there building a house right next to it.
Well, I can't help you there. I mean, if you're building a house right next to it, then that's...
I mean, they weren't rich. Like, you own this land. You have to build a house for your family.
Yeah,
Where else are you going to build it?
Well, I don't get that. But, again, bulldozing over merely days later, you're already building a house.
I don't know. It wasn't a smart decision, but I don't think it was malicious. I don't think he's covering anything up.
I'm not going to insinuate it was malicious, but that is a completely insane thing to do.
It's odd. I'll give you that.
It's beyond odd to me. Yeah. It's purely insane.
But what do you make of them finding human bones? They found human bones in the rubble.
I mean, that area has already been tampered with by the dad.
Did he put human bones there?
Okay, he fucking bulldozed over it. Look, I'm not saying he put human bones there. I'm saying that for anybody at any point to take the scene at which their children were either murdered or at least killed or died, to bulldoze over it, pave over it, whatever, that's weird. That's not normal. That normal people don't do that.
I don't think you can say that until you're in this position.
It's never been documented before. People lose their kids. They don't just go destroy the crime scene that their kids died. That's not what happens.
But nobody else... I mean, okay, again, he did this before he really gave weight to the fact that it could be a crime scene.
Who's going to do that in general?
I don't know. I'm saying I understand where he's coming from.
I don't.
Like,
I don't understand at all. This doesn't make sense to me why... Like, say something happened to a loved one of yours. Mm-hmm. Would you go to where they died and just destroy it, cover it up with a bulldozer?
I think if I had to look at it every day, and the general consensus at this point was it was an accident, Yes, like I can see myself doing
It
what he
wasn't.
did.
It was still being investigated.
But everyone was telling him, your kids burned up in the fire. That's what he was being told.
It's still being investigated. No one, like the fire chief has said, hey, it's likely they burned up. We're still investigating.
But
he jumped the gun.
We're waiting on the state fire marshal to come in and say exactly what happened, or at least to investigate. They took nearly a full week to come and do that.
A week?
Yeah, we're talking about 4 days.
You're talking about 4 days after 5 of his kids died, he bulldozed over it?
I don't think we're going to find common ground here.
Okay, so tell me this. I don't think we are. Tell me this. Say something like a word happened to your family, right? They die. God forbid, they die. 3 days later, do you see yourself going to where they died and bulldozing over it and then just covering up with dirt and leaving?
Whatever the state fire marshal is going to tell me isn't going to bring them back. So if I don't want to look at that from a simple self-preservation standpoint, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do.
You would go out of your way to go get a bulldozer. You don't have to look at it.
He probably had one.
You don't have to look at it. Let me put it.
I thought no, he kind of does because he is building a house.
3 days later,
they're starting the process of building a house.
3 days after 5 of his
homeless.
Kids, brother, go to a hotel, find somebody to live with. Like, there's no possible way. 3 days after 5 of your kids die, you have to start building a house. There's no way.
I don't know, man.
Where are they staying those first 3 days? Sleeping on the ground? No, they're staying with somebody. I'm not buying this. This is fucking insane.
I don't have an answer for you. I'm simply saying I somewhat understand where his mind was at this point.
We will have to agree to disagree because
that's what we're gonna have to do.
Paving or bulldozing over the death site of 5 of your kids before the cause of death was even determined. That's fucking insane.
But again, I want to reiterate. I want to say this, and I just want to have it out there. Okay. At this point, when he did that, he was told, and he didn't have any proof to the contrary, that his children had simply been destroyed by the fire. Like, there was nothing left. They weren't going to find anything. The state fire marshal coming in and investigating was just something that had to be done.
I'm going to chalk this up to not like anything malicious. I'm going to chalk this up to he was just an idiot, to be honest. Because in no world ever, at any point, would anybody bulldoze over the scene where 5 of their children died less than 72 hours after they died. That is not, I refuse to believe that.
At least we can agree we both do not think it was malicious.
I don't think it was malicious.
Is that fair?
If the fire okay, tell me this then. Mm-hmm. 5 of your kids die in a fire. Mm-hmm. The fire marshal comes to you and says, there's absolutely nothing left. There's no bone. Oh, and by the way, I buried a beef liver in your backyard. But there's no bones, there's no teeth, there's nothing. You go to an expert, the expert says, you can't burn teeth or bones in a fire.
Okay. Key point. They didn't go to an expert until later on. Okay. All they knew at this point was the fire marshal, which I'm assuming was a pretty respectable title at the time in Fayetteville, West Virginia. He told them, your children likely burned up in the fire. I'm sorry, so sorry. That's probably what happened. We haven't found any remains.
So you get this information. Mm-hmm. Fire marshal tells you this. You go, nah, shucks. Time to bulldoze their death site and build me a new house. Hell yeah. That's where you're gonna go. That you're justifying that.
I don't think he was that excited.
No. And this man's already building a new house.
Jenny and George were apparently too grief-stricken to go to their funerals.
But he can build a house.
He has to house his family, man.
I don't buy this. No, I don't buy this.
We've already determined we both don't think it was malicious. You think he was stupid. I think he was grief-stricken. That's where we are.
I have a hard time wrapping my head around.
Do you think he was malicious? Do you think he did this on purpose to cover up his own wrongdoing?
I mean, I don't think he set the house on fire and killed his kids,
Okay.
but to justify, you just got the news, and we're just going in circles here.
But I'm saying that's where we differ. We both do not believe George Sodder had anything to do with the fire. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
he was just.
Okay.
I mean, I hate to speak ill of him, but I guess he was just stupid. I don't know.
I'll go on your side a little further. He made a poor decision. I don't think it was out of idiocracy. I think it was out of grief. That's where we sit.
I don't know, man. That's insane.
Yes.
That does absolutely nothing other than paint you guilty.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that does for you.
I'm not saying it looks great.
Clearly, they're staying somewhere else. Like, you're not going to have a house built in a week.
But
It's going to take you a long time to build a house.
He's still there every day, getting ready for the new house.
Yeah, don't
Ignore everything else. Where we diverge is where his mindset was. We both do not believe he did it intentionally. We don't think he was trying to cover anything up. You think he did it because he was dumb. I think he did it because he was grief-stricken. Is that fair to say?
I mean, yeah, that's where
Okay.
we both are.
That's where we are. We'll move on from
That's
there.
where we are.
These bone fragments were sent to Marshall Newman at the Smithsonian Institute for analysis. Newman determined that the bones were part of a lumbar vertebrae and that all the pieces came from a single individual. The, quote, transverse recesses of the bone were fused, indicating that they belonged to someone who had died around the age 16 or 17. Since Maurice, the oldest missing Sodder child, was only 14 at the time, the bones could not have belonged to any of the Sodder children.
What? This doesn't make a fucking bit of sense. There's something. So I think what's happening here is we are only getting, similar to what we just talked about in the last episode. We're looking through a keyhole.
Yeah.
We're only seeing a little bit of a room, and we're not seeing the full picture here.
Mm-hmm.
There's information we are not privileged to.
Well, I have information that would explain the bones.
Okay, let's hear it.
Later, George discovered another unsettling detail. The dirt he had purchased to cover the fire site came from a nearby cemetery. Any thoughts on that?
Am I missing something here?
What do you mean?
So, okay. Is George just like the unluckiest and also one of the dumbest people to ever live?
I don't think he's dumb.
I think
hey, look.
he has to be.
We're going to stop it right there. I know where we're gonna go down that train of thought.
We're gonna hit it again.
Okay, we're gonna get back into the same argument we just had.
We are.
No. Okay, so he's had a lot of very unfortunate things happen.
No. Okay, I don't want to put a damper on what he's been through. Clearly, he has been through something that is not imaginable. I understand that, and maybe his reaction is also not imaginable. And maybe he does something that the average person finds insane, like bulldozing over the death site of his 5 children. Maybe he did it in just in a fugue state where he just didn't know what was going on. No. He freaked out. He didn't know what to do. He's like, okay, we just got to move on. Bulldoze over it without even thinking. Maybe that's a possibility. But then he finds out that the dirt he used came from a cemetery, and I'm assuming that is, you're insinuating that the bones were from somebody buried in the cemetery.
Yeah, so it was either like, first of all, yes, like he purchased the dirt, he had the dirt delivered. That's what he filled in the basement with and covered up the site with. That is my assumption. The bones were either whoever he bought the dirt from did a terrible job and accidentally dug up a grave, or that was just a very old body who was not documented on the grave site or in the graveyard. They took dirt from around what they thought was the graveyard, accidentally dug up this super old body. That's what I think happened.
I've got a theory. After reading what we've read, I've got a theory that I think makes the most sense.
Okay.
To me, I don't think it'll make sense to you,
okay.
but it makes sense to me.
All right. By 1950, the Sodder case had gained enough attention to reach the West Virginia state legislature, but Governor Oki Patterson and State Police Superintendent W.E. Burchett declared it a lost cause and officially closed the case at the state level.
We don't have the names that we used to have.
What do you mean?
O.K. Patterson and W.E. Burchett.
The second one's a strong name. Oki Patterson's kind of dumb.
O.K. Patterson sucks.
Yeah.
That sounds like something.
W.E. Burchett?
W.E. Burchett. W.E. What does W.E. stand for?
But W.E. Burchett, that's strong.
Strong name. Anybody that has like this type of like acronymic name.
I got a J.W. in my family.
You got a J.W.?
J.W.
I had a G.W. in mine.
He's actually in your family as well. He's on that side.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a G.W.
Well,
my grandpa. His name was Gladys Wilburn. He just sent up a Hail Mary for those of you that can't see.
Yeah.
But yeah, my grandfather's name was Gladys Wilburn. Called him J.W. or G.W. I'm sorry.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
I also called him Dummy.
Dummy.
Yep.
But W.E. Burchett, I'm imagining like a sheriff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Six shooters
a gun on. Yeah, dude. I was thinking each hip. Yeah.
Yes.
But dude, he's got like the big mustache,
yeah.
gray hair, cowboy hat.
Can we do a live lookup to see what he looked like?
Yeah, I'll do it.
West Virginia State Police Superintendent W.E. Burchett. Let's see what this man looked like. I'm prepared to be let down.
There he is.
Yeah.
That's a badass, dude. Cut face.
It's a strong man right there. Shout out him.
Strong face. He's got the cut jaw and man.
I wouldn't fuck with him, that's for
no,
sure.
No, hell no, dude. He'd mess you up.
But anyways, the case was officially closed at the state level, which again, like all of the evidence the Sodders are presenting, it is circumstantial.
Yeah.
Like what makes the most sense at this point, even though they didn't know it at the time, but we now know it's physically impossible. The kids tragically just burned up in the fire.
Yeah.
Like that's...
you can't expect them to believe anything else.
No.
That's fair.
No. I do understand from the parent's standpoint as well. Like, unless there is a definitive fact that will prove your kids did die in the fire, I feel like you're obligated to continue to look for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a terrible situation all the way around. That's where we are.
Like, you think about today, if something happened to your family or my family and the medical examiner, fire chief, or police officer, whatever, tells you what happened.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what happened. And you're like, yeah, well, that makes sense. You're going to forget about it. Who's to say 80 years that it won't be a famous case and somebody looks back and be like, well, how in the world could they believe that? It's like, well, the professionals of the time were telling you that that's what happened. You're not going to question it.
This is essentially a cold case to the Sodder family.
Yeah.
Like, unless, like everyone else, like the countless cold cases out there, until you are presented with a body of your loved one, what choice do you have but not to believe that they're dead?
Yeah, I agree.
Again, this is a terrible situation all the way around for everybody involved. It's very unfortunate.
Yep.
While public interest faded, the Sodder family never stopped searching. They handed out flyers and even paid for a billboard along Route 16, offering a $5,000 reward for any information that could lead to their missing children. George and Jenny followed up on tips and leads across the country. A hotel owner in Charleston, West Virginia, claimed to have seen all 5 children about a week after the fire. She said they arrived around midnight with 2 men and a woman who appeared to be Italian. When she tried to speak to the children, one of the men became angry and started speaking in Italian, warning her off. The group left the next morning. Police ultimately deemed her story not credible.
Why?
I didn't include it. She didn't see pictures of the Sodder children until 2 years after the event, and she didn't reach out to the police until 5 years after the event, when it was getting hot again at the state level. So
maybe she just wanted her moment of fame.
Probably was.
Yep.
That's my guess. In 1967, George and his son-in-law, Grover Paxton, followed up on another lead in Houston, Texas. A woman there claimed that Louis Sodder had confessed his true identity to her one night after getting drunk in a bar. She said Maurice and Louis were living under false names in Texas. Police investigated and located the two men she described, but they denied being the missing Sodder boys. At this point, it kind of seems like people are just trying to cash in on the $5,000 reward.
I agree. Yeah.
That's kind of where I am.
Yep.
That's
you can have... but even if somebody confesses when they're not really that person, like what do you get from that?
Yeah.
You're not going to get the reward. Maybe you're drunk and you're like, oh, I'm going to confess this thing just because I'm drunk and I want to.
But it is weird. If this is true, if this man said he was Louis Sodder in 1967 in Houston, Texas,
no.
How do you know about the Sodder family fire in Houston,
point.
Texas?
20 years later.
As tragic as it is, I'm sure it's not like a hot topic 20 years later in another state.
Yeah. You can, I think nowadays, I think you could pull something like that off.
Yeah.
In the 60s?
1967?
That news, it doesn't travel.
No.
That's not a popular story.
Texas. You're half the country away.
Yeah. That's interesting, actually. Yeah. I've got my...
But, okay, again, let's say that was Louis Sodder and Maurice Sodder, right? You're, 22 years later, why would you not just say, yes, I'm Louis, if you are.
Yeah. We're
assuming this is Louis Sodder. Why would you not just say, yes, I'm Louis Sodder?
Maybe they've been pressured to not reveal their true identity. Maybe if they were captured all those years ago.
So you're implying the mafia again?
No. I'm playing devil's advocate. This isn't my theory. I'm just saying, say they were captured. Who sure, by the mafia. Yeah, by the mafia. Okay, by the mafia, the Italian mob, whatever. And then the Italian mob threatens, if you ever reveal who you really are, we'll kill you and all your siblings. 25 years later, he's in a bar, he's drunk. He's like, you know what? Fuck it, I don't care.
Then he came to his senses and he was like, wait, I have to protect my family.
Yeah, once he's sobered up, the cops show up. He's like, oh no, I was just joking around.
Possible.
Yeah.
Makes sense, I guess. Yeah. That same year, the Sodders received a postcard from Central City, Kentucky, with no return address. Inside was a photograph of a man in his 30s who had a strong, I want to reiterate, strong resemblance to Louis Sodder, who would have been about the same age. On the back of the postcard was a strange message.
Louis Sodder, I love my brother Frankie. LLIL boys, A90132 or 35. What does that mean?
Anybody's guess.
Yeah.
Anybody's guess. George later told the Charleston Gazette that the lack of answers was like, quote, hitting a brick wall, but he refused to give up. Quote,
we only want to know. If they did die in the fire, we want to be convinced. Otherwise, we want to know what happened to them.
George Sodder died in 1969, never learning what truly happened to his 5 children. Jenny and the surviving Sodder siblings, all except for John, who preferred to move on, continued to search for decades. John rarely spoke publicly about the fire and said he wished his family would accept what happened and find peace. Jenny Sodder died in 1989, and with her passing, the family finally took down the billboard along Route 16. To this day, the remaining Sodder children and their descendants continue to seek answers, still hoping to uncover what really happened on Christmas Eve in 1945.
So is this where we would deliver our final thoughts?
That's about where we are.
I'm going to give you... I want to hear yours first before I give mine.
I genuinely do not have an answer. I just don't. I feel like science pretty handedly tells us it is not possible that there is not a single trace of the children in the house. If I was forced to give an answer, the mafia kind of makes the most sense. Like, maybe, pick your reason with George Sodder. I mean, he was anti-Mussolini. He was very outspoken about being anti-Mussolini. He did not conform with union workers or mafia rackets in the area. That gives the mafia incentive to extort him, basically. What would be the main piece of evidence to the converse would be, if this was an extortion attempt, why did they never collect? Like, George Sodder spent the rest of his life trying to find his children instead of conforming to whatever the mafia may have wanted. So, I mean, that's a glaring piece of evidence to the contrary. But, again, I mean, it wasn't an insurance salesman that took the 5 kids. They didn't just decide to run off in the middle of the night, Fayetteville, West Virginia, with the oldest being 14.
On Christmas Eve.
That didn't happen.
No.
It's unfortunate. This is the tragic event. I cannot imagine being in the Sodder parents' shoes. But we simply are not equipped to find the answer. I think that's where we are.
What I think?
Okay.
I think George Sr. got wrapped up into some business that he had no business being wrapped up in. I think the mafia warned him that if he doesn't, do blah, 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 pay his debts or whatever it is that the mafia thinks that he owes them, that they're going to make him pay for it. I then think that they show up, abduct his children, set his house on fire. Here we are. I think George knew that this is probably what happened, so he bulldozed the site to maybe, destroy any evidence that his children were abducted. Or maybe not destroy any evidence, but maybe he doesn't want people to find out that there was nothing there, so he just, bulldozes the site. I'm hung up on the bulldozing thing. That's not a logical thing. Weird. It's not a logical thing for a grieving father to do.
And this is where our train of thought begins to differ. Like it feels like you think it was more intentional.
I don't want to give that I think he was involved in their disappearance or their death.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that he had an idea. Maybe he knew the mob was after him. Then all of a sudden 5 of his kids go missing. He's like, damn it. The mob just took 5 of my kids and they set my house on fire.
No.
He's like, well, and now he's thinking, what do you think in that situation?
Yeah.
Let me just bulldoze over this, start building a new house, start anew. My kids are alive out there somewhere. They're okay. They're going to live a life, whatever.
But then why are you following up? Like, he's traveling literally all across the country following up on leads.
Yeah, decades later.
But if you know where your kids are.
Yeah, but he's scared of the mob. So decades later, maybe now he's not so scared of the mob. Maybe the kids are grown now. He's not thinking about the mob. He's like, you know what? Whatever. I don't give a shit about the mob. I'm going to go find my kids. If that was the case, he would have been looking for them immediately. He wouldn't have bulldozed over the site. He would have been out there looking for them day one instead of building a new damn house. I'm not saying he knew anything. I'm saying I think he knew that whatever happened because of something he did.
I don't have the evidence to say that's not the case, but I will say this: he had 4 other kids and a wife to still take care of. So, if you have to build a house to take care of them, you have to start immediately.
You don't.
I feel like you do.
You don't.
They weren't rich. They weren't rich. They couldn't stay in a hotel for a month at a time.
No, probably not. But what I'm saying is, they had 10 kids, right? Or had 10 kids. 5 of them tragically either go missing or perish in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's unthinkable. It's unspeakable. There's no way to describe what to do after something like this happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like bulldozing over where they died or went missing or whatever before the official story or investigation was finished is not acceptable. It's not. I don't care what the fire marshal told you. The investigation was not done. That is not acceptable behavior.
This is this is going to be the main dividing factor for this episode, because we are so differed up until a point on this specific event. What you just said does make a lot of sense. I don't want you to think I'm discrediting that at all. It could very well be a possibility. In fact, I thought, like, during the middle of your monologue there, what if, like, we're sitting here all these years later and you just nailed it? You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, what if you just nailed it? But we won't ever know for sure.
No.
I want to try to get this point across one more time. Just produce the effort. He was told by, again, what I'm assuming was a very respected figure in the Fayetteville community, that his kids had likely perished in the fire. All of their remains were destroyed. If you still have the rest of your family to look after, and you have to go there every day to start building your house, your next house for the rest of your family, to me, it kind of makes sense that you would just be like, okay, well, they're not going to tell me anything I don't already know. Let me start to move on.
I'm under the assumption that, we're talking about a couple days later. Like, we're not talking about 3 years later. Like, we're
talking about 4 days later.
We're talking about a matter of less than a week. The fire marshal has told them, yeah, they likely burned up. However, we're still investigating. Right?
So, again, he did tell them the state fire marshal's office will come down to do a, official investigation. I'm telling you what probably happened.
So, put yourself in that position for a minute.
Yeah.
The fire marshal tells you likely they burned up, but the actual department is going to come down here and do an investigation in a few days or tomorrow or whatever. In between that exact moment and when they come to do their official investigation, are you going to bulldoze over the scene and completely fucking destroy it?
Okay, so
tell me, would you do that?
Hold on.
I cannot imagine you're about to say yes.
Let me rephrase before I give you my answer.
Okay.
All right. So let's go through what happened again. So, they got woke up in the middle of the night. Jenny smells smoke. Right?
Okay.
Marion gets woke up. John and George Jr., who are upstairs, have to brave the engulfed hallway with the smoke to come downstairs. 2 bedrooms upstairs. They came from one. The 5 missing children are in the other one. They tell George and Jenny, we can't get to their room. Like, we could not get to their room. We couldn't get there. Sorry. We got out. You sit there. You're waiting 7 hours in a cold December night, West Virginia, for the fire department to come. All the while, you tried everything you can to get what you assume are your 5 kids out. It slowly starts to set in, like, I'm not going to be able to. I can't get to them. The fire department's not coming. It sets in slowly over the course of 7 hours. The fire marshal finally gets there. He says, what has likely happened is we can't find any remains. Probably just burned hot enough to destroy everything. You don't have the science to know that that's not a possibility.
You left out something.
What did I leave out?
You left out the fact that probably just burned up. However, we're going to come back and do an investigation.
You're right. No. I was getting there. Getting there. So the fire marshal, who, again, I want to reiterate, was probably a really respected figure in Fayetteville, West Virginia, 1945.
I mean, that's fine. He can be respected all he wants. Yeah. But if they're going to come back and do an investigation, and if he made this clear...
He did make it clear. He said the state fire marshal's office was coming to investigate. But he also made it clear this is probably what happened.
It doesn't matter. If your family gets murdered... And the police chief at the scene currently, after doing no investigative work, says, well, yeah, they likely burned up, or they likely got shot up, or whatever.
But again...
And then in between that and the actual investigation, you completely obliterate and destroy the crime scene.
But again...
That takes me... I'm like, okay, well, you're either covering something up, or you are an idiot who is not thinking about the future. Like, what? There's no way you're making this argument right now.
But what I'm saying, the state fire marshal can come and investigate. The end result is going to be the same. Like, they were outside the house when the fire started.
How can you say it's going to be the same?
Hold on.
Bulldozed the scene.
Hold on. The rest, George and Jenny and John, George Jr., Marion, were outside of the house. At no point did they see the kids leave. They have no evidence at this point to suggest the kids ever left the house. So, if I as a grieving father am told, and I have no way to disprove, that, yeah, your children's remains were destroyed. I'm sorry. That's where we are. A state fire marshal.
And
hold on, no. Wait.
Okay,
wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
A state fire marshal coming down and investigating at this point isn't gonna change the fact. He can find whatever he wants to find. It's not gonna matter. My 5 kids are still dead. That's all he knew at that point.
Then that is unbelievable to say to somebody before an investigation.
You're right.
That's unreal, and it's unreal for him to believe it.
I don't think it is.
Brother, you
can't be serious. How much of this is going to make it in?
You can't be serious.
What do you mean?
Let's say your family burns up. Mm-hmm. Let's say your house catches on fire. Everyone but you burns to death. Mm-hmm. Fire marshal comes out and says, look, we didn't find any bones, but, they burned. I'm telling you right now, they burned up. They're going to come do an investigation, but you know what? They're not going to tell you nothing. Don't even worry about it. Are you just going to take a bulldozer and just bulldoze over everything? Or are you going to come let people do their job and try and get some kind of answers? You're just going to take there's no way that's how you're thinking. There's no way.
The family essentially watched the fire beginning to end from outside.
You're not understanding my point.
You're not understanding mine.
I'll understand your point clearly.
No, you don't.
You're saying your point is the fire marshal told this man that his family just burned up. There's no possible difference that an investigation is going to make, right? Yeah. So you may as well just bulldoze the fucking house. No, dude. But absolutely not. I refuse to believe this.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if you're George Sodder.
Okay.
Right? You were woken up essentially at the start of this fire, right? You, at this point, don't even consider the fact that your kids were kidnapped.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. You're told by the fire marshal, it's not like he didn't do a thorough investigation. He searched the grounds. He investigated the nearby area. This was his conclusion. It was wrong, but again, they didn't that science wasn't readily available at the time. They didn't know that a house fire couldn't burn hot enough to destroy human remains.
They did know that.
They didn't know that.
She reached out to an expert.
Buddy, this was months after the fact.
I'll give my final thoughts real quick.
Okay.
What I think happened was somebody, obviously these children disappeared. They did not, we know for a fact.
We know that now in 2025.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Okay. They did not burn up completely and just vanish in the fire. That doesn't happen. Someone took these kids, or these kids ran away forever for some reason.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. That's why I think they were abducted by whoever had a problem with George Sodder. I think they burned his house down, and then there we were. His phone line was cut. The ladder was gone. That way they couldn't get to the second floor with the ladder.
But if you have the kids, well, you know what?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't want the people using the ladder to get to the second floor of the house to try and rescue the kids. So you take the ladder, you throw it down an embankment 75 feet away.
You want them to believe the kids are actually in their room.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want them to be able to prove they're not. You don't want them to take the ladder, put it up on the side of the house while it's burning, climb up there.
Oh, there's no kids.
Not see anybody
They're
in there.
not there.
And you're like, wait a minute, where are the kids?
Okay.
So you take the ladder, you throw it down an embankment. You go out there and you step on the gas pedal of their trucks over and over. You flood their engines right before you do it. Then you go in, take the kids, throw a couple of whatever bombs on the house, set it on fire, and you leave. That's an insane scenario.
At the end of the day, we just had a very heated discussion. Probably the most heated we've had on this show.
I would agree, and it's not going to make it in.
No, it's not.
It's not going to make it in.
But at the end of the day, I think we had the same conclusion. Like, our only point of contention was, why the fuck did George Sodder bulldoze over the remains, the ruins?
Yeah, there's no...
We will not get back into that.
No.
It's not going to happen, because we're going to probably cut 15 to 20 minutes of that audio.
Probably so.
Of us just going back
I think
and
we
forth.
can both agree that there was no logical reason for him to bulldoze it.
No.
In a state of pure mania, maybe. I don't know. But I think we can both agree that it doesn't make sense that he bulldozed the crime scene. Well, not crime scene. He bulldozed the scene in general. Yeah.
In any case,
it didn't make sense.
I feel like we both believe
those kids did not die in that fire.
No, it's physically impossible.
Yeah.
It is not possible that they did.
I know we both agree there.
I think we both agree that there was mafia involvement.
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah.
I would say if not the mafia, someone probably affiliated.
But who else would have the means to pull this kind of thing off?
That's a
local insurance salesman. He's not going to do that
unless he's part of the mafia.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I think the mafia is heavily involved for sure.
That's my belief.
Yeah. You don't just if it was one or two, I would think just some person, but 5 kids.
Yeah. So it's important to note 5 of the youngest kids.
Yeah. This takes manpower.
Yeah.
And it takes stealth to break in to a house with 12 or 13 people in it.
You have Marion, the 19-year-old, asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Or, hey, we could also consider the fact that they were just incompetent enough to not be able to find remains.
I don't buy into that at all. No.
Okay.
5 remain? No way. You would find something. If it was 1 or 2, again, I would maybe. 5?
Maybe if it wasn't
chance.
Bulldozed.
5? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. If it hadn't been.
I don't know. We will not get back into that. This is going to be the longest tinfoil talk episode there ever was. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Tinfoil Talk. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. And if you really want to help us out, please leave us a quick rating or review. Tell everyone you know about us. You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube. Just search Tinfoil Talk. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Until next time, grab a beer, put on your tinfoil. We'll see you soon.
Love you, bye.
Bye.